With Jon Blachowicz reigning as the current UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, he recently mentioned that he still wants to fight Jon Jones, even if it means fighting at heavyweight. On the Real Quick with Mike Swick's podcast, he went on to say, "Of course I can beat him at heavyweight. We can do this extra fight, not for the heavyweight title if he wants to, not a problem for me. I'm going to be ready. He promised me this fight and I will not stop talking about this. After when I beat Corey Anderson, he promised me this fight. So he has to keep his word and let's go. Let's do this. Anywhere, any weight. I will catch him somewhere in the future." Kevin Lee has been forced out of his fight with Sean Brady due to injury. Errol Helwani posted this on his Twitter saying, "Kevin Lee has been forced to withdraw from his July 10 fight versus Sean Brady due to an injured rib. He said he hopes they rebook the fight for August 7. Brady first revealed the news on IG. Sean Brady reacted and posted this on his Instagram with the caption, "Unfortunately, I will not be fighting Kevin Lee on July 10th. From my understanding, he has suffered an injury and had to pull out of the fight. My team is hoping to rebook the fight for August. Thank you to all my family, friends and fans who support me. This is just a speed bump on my journey to being champ." According to Errol Helwani, Khamzat Chimaev refused to take a middleweight fight against Luke Rockhold. He posted this on his Twitter saying, "Luke Rockhold tells me he was offered a main event versus Khamzat Chimaev on August 28th. He said he accepted but just got word Chimaev declined because he's staying at 170. He also accepted a 3-rounder versus Chimaev on August 7. All respect, but I thought he would fight anyone," he said. Gilbert Burns in a recent interview said that Leon Edwards was not hungry against Nate Diaz to earn a title shot. Leon Edwards reacted and posted this on his Twitter saying, "You got knocked out with the jab. Hashtag no chin Burns." Gilbert Burns responded back saying, "Journeyman Nate almost knocked your ass out. When my hands touch you, you're going to wake up at ICU." Michael Bisping on the Believe in Me podcast gives his thoughts on Anderson Silva's boxing win over Julio Cesar Chavez.
So good for Anderson. I'm so happy for him. And he looked good. You know, as I say, 46 years old and you know, he's lost a lot of fights in the UFC recently and he didn't end on a high. Uriah Hall knocked him out, as we know. I was concerned for him. I was like, man, because, you know, we had a bit of a beef back in the day, but you got to respect Anderson Silva, what he did for the sport of mixed martial arts, the career that he had, the excitement that he brought to the octagon, and just some of the amazing finishes that he gave us over the years. You have to respect that man. And I was worried. I thought, okay, now he's going in there against a top boxer. Maybe not a top boxer, but a very, very well-respected boxer. But I was worried because he got knocked out a few times towards the end of his career. And listen, I'm 42, right? All right, granted, I've had a lot of surgeries, but movements and things like that, it's nowhere near as good as what it used to be. I'm assuming in 4 years' time, it's going to get even worse. Listen, I was so happy for him. You know, it was great. And I'll tell you what, it was kind of annoying. I don't know if you watched it, a bit of it, the commentary. The commentary, they're like, "Oh, he's so herky-jerky, his movements, the rhythm's off, the timing's off." So no, he's just a better fighter in there. He was moving great. He wasn't moving like a spaz. He was moving like a fighter. He was moving like a boxer. He was, you know, and he did his old thing in round 3. He backed himself into the corner and was like insisting that Chavez, you know, came at him in the ring. I was like, there you go, you son of a... Still got it at the highest level of boxing. Well, not the highest, but the high level of boxing, pulling that shit off. It was cool to see.
Hey, champ, Triple C, we're here in Dubai.
But he
and
called,
we were expecting a big fence, but here...
He said he's my friend, but he wear your t-shirt. What is this, brother?
Because I believe in Triple C, he will become C4.
Oh, Olympic champion.
Yeah, but, brother, but be careful. Hasbullah gonna kill you. Be careful.
I believe you can take Hezbollah as well. C5. So,
Chris Weidman on Sirius XM gives an update on his recovery.
So it's not like, I mean, so I'm definitely blowing the doctor's minds with what I'm doing already, for sure. But that being said, like every injury is completely different. It's not like an ACL tear where they go in and they correct it and everybody's kind of either got the cadaver surgery or the other one, whatever. There's like 2 versions that they do when they repair ACLs, and kind of you have a gauge on recovery time. This is very unique and there's not that many people that it's happened to. Usually, this type of injury happens to, like, you know, wounded warriors, wounded veterans who, you know, basically get blown up. And one of the things is that their leg got broken in half like that, and you got a compound fracture, and, you know, and I think recovery time is just different for everybody. You got so many nerves and stuff that it's affected. You know, the muscle with the bones going through the muscle and everything, like how long does that take to develop, and getting the blood vessels and veins and everything running the right way again. you know, and yeah, so there's just, they left the fibula bone completely alone. So that is really up to the body to find it itself. So like right now, if you see my last x-ray, they kind of like misaligned. So the goal is hopefully like just over time, the body ends up the body figures out a way for them to find each other and then eventually solidify through, like, first it starts building scar tissue, which slows the movement down, because I can feel that I can feel it literally every 2 seconds, you know, when I move my leg around, like the bone's just going back and forth. But eventually scar tissue develops, then cartilage develops, and then bone will start actually adhering. And it's crazy how the body works, but that's one of the things we got to make sure happens. And then the blood supply going to the bone, we think it's going there, but there's still it's still not like I'm not out of the woodwork yet with that. I'm out of the woodwork when it comes to infections. For the most part, I'm out of the woodwork. Yeah, so there's still some things, some curveballs that could be happening here, but I'm positive, and worst case scenario, any of that shit happens, I'll be fine. You know, whatever it is, I'll figure out a way to get through it.
Zombie versus Ige was an amazing fight. It showed up exactly the way everybody thought it would. Ige had a very tough time getting the takedowns and creating opportunities in the grappling. But the Korean Zombie looked so sharp. He looked sharp in the striking, his counter ability, and really more than anything, his timing is what changed the difference in the fight. Ige, if he could have maybe added a couple feints and stuff, it might have changed up the timing of the Korean Zombie. But speed for speed, the Korean Zombie was a little faster and a little sharper on that night, taking nothing away from Ige, who showed up amazing and was in the fight the entire time. He's going to learn a lot from that matchup, 100%. When it comes to Spivak versus Olenek just did his normal stuff. He tried to create openings in the half guard scenarios. He tried to get that head and arm choke on the fence. He tried to grapple. Spivak did a great job learning new steps in his maturity in MMA and not getting pulled into the grappling game too much, not getting caught, being able to touch up Olenek from the outside and hurt him. So it ended up being an amazing night of fights.
Max Holloway pulled out from the fight against Yair Rodriguez due to injury. The UFC called me to replace him, and of course I agreed, and now we're waiting for Yair. This guy didn't fight for 20 or 21 months. Guess what I was doing this time? I was fighting, and fighting. I fought 6 times, and I beat all my opponents. This guy started to play game. It's been a few days. I have not heard back. Hopefully he's gonna show up 17 July, but I heard that he's a little bit of... He did not show up 4 times with Zabit, and I heard he did everything to pull out from this fight. I don't think the guy who's scared should be in UFC, but hopefully now he's gonna meet me in front, face to face, and we're gonna talk. Can't wait.